Can you believe that? It's almost 2024. And that means it's time for a trend video. But it's not going to be your typical fashion trend or anything like that. We'll find out what's trendy in a world of vegetables. And if you never got to like kale, this is your chance to find out what's next. If you are new to my channel, my name is Tanya. I'm a professional gardener from Finland. It's really exciting to me to find out what's trending in the world of vegetables. But before we dive into the trends itself, I must say that the biggest trend above all trends right now is sustainability. And it is here to stay. That means that the best and the most trendy vegetables are those that you can grow by yourself. So if you never tried to grow vegetables, start in 2024. Vegetable trends are not as fast as some other trends. They have been emerging for decades or so, and they are closely related to the food trends. And according to experts in the food markets, 2024 is going to be all about plant-based food. So vegetables obviously have their prime time. And number one trend this upcoming year is going to be hot peppers. Are you kidding me? They have been a trend for decades. They always have been popular, especially in our warm climates. But in 2024, their popularity is going to reach the next level with a food trend called spicy. In 2024, spicy food is going to be everywhere. That means only desserts like chili cupcakes. Even cauliflower can become spicy. So be sure to grow enough chilies for your food experiments. And most popular varieties right now are not only classics, which is always popular, like habanero, jalapeno, also peri peri or piri piris, as some call them, for their ability to be grown at home. Also, you can try your hands on the hottest variety that is known right now, called Trinidad Maroon Scorpion. Did I mention cauliflower? Well, this is basically a trend number 2, cauliflower. Today, cauliflower is everything but the classical vegetable. It is rice, noodles, even desserts. But if you still like it less processed, there are lots of interesting varieties to grow, such as purple and orange, and they will make a colorful, bright and healthy snack, especially if you will add some spicy dip. Trend number 3 is a Swiss chard, and it's a good alternative to kale. It contains even more protein and more fiber than kale, which is known as superfood. Swiss chard is also extremely rich in calcium and iron. Also, Swiss chard is more juicy than kale and has a different taste, which slightly reminds of spinach and beetroot mixed together. Swiss chard also becomes more sweet and tasty when it is slightly cooked, and the bonus is it is really cold hardy. Number 4 trendy vegetable is celeriac. This root vegetable may look a little bit unpretty, but we do not always judge vegetables for their look. Celeriac has always been popular in some European countries, but now it is making a great comeback to North America. It is said that once it was already popular due to its ability to store well in winter, but later when refrigerators came to every home, it was dismissed by a stalk celery. Celeriac is extremely versatile when it comes to cooking possibilities. It can be eaten raw in salads, fried, mashed as potatoes, and it is extremely good in winter creamy soups. I personally can eat them all the time. By the way, if you are interested in trying to grow this trendy vegetable, I have a few videos with tips on how to grow it on my channel, and you can watch them after you watch this video. So I will put links in description. And you see something over there. Celeriac thrives in colder climates, and I would say it is the must vegetable for gardens in zone 3 to 6, or maybe as a winter crop in a warmer climate. Nutrition-wise, it is packed with vitamins, especially B6, K, and C, and it also rich in fiber and minerals like potassium and phosphorus. Trend number 5 is about a root vegetable again, and this time we are rooting for a beetroot. Much like celeriac, this root vegetable is popular in many European countries, especially Eastern European. Also, Finland is not an Eastern European country. Beetroot is popular here as well, but in the rest of the world it is less favored. But it's gaining popularity year after year, especially with rising popularity of sustainability and homegrown vegetables, because beetroot is extremely easy to grow vegetable, and it is a perfect vegetable for beginners. And indeed, beetroot is really healthy. It actually helps to reduce blood sugar, and it also helps with digestion. It works almost like prunes, so if you're not familiar with eating beetroot, start with caution. Trend number 6 is eatable flowers. And again, it comes with a food trend, or this time with a dessert trend, which is a flower cake. Of course, most of the time, those flowers are made with a cream, but top-class confectioners decorate their artsy cakes with real flowers. Those flowers are not actually just a decoration. You don't put them away before you start eating your dessert. You can eat them as well. Many flowers have a really interesting taste, and you would be surprised how many flowers are actually eatable. And I'm not talking only about garden flowers, such as well-known pansy, but also a wild eatable. I don't know if you know that, but actually dandelion contains more vitamin A than carrots, spinach, or apricot. And if you are interested in eatable flowers and eatable wilds, consider subscribing to my channel, because I'm planning some interesting videos on this topic in 2024. Trend number 7 is broccoli. But this is not that broccoli that everybody is familiar with for a long time already. Now we talk about broccoli leaves and stems that are also eatable, and they have a different taste than a broccoli head. And a serving size couple of broccoli leaves actually provides 100% of your daily needs in vitamin C. And they taste more like peas than broccoli. So if you don't like the taste of broccoli head, look at the leaves and stems. And speaking of sustainability, broccoli is a zero-waste vegetable. Trend number 8 is anything purple, because purple is a favorite Gen Z color. Purple tomatoes and chilies have been known for a while, but now it's time to try a purple corn called blue corn. Purple asparagus, and also really interesting vegetable called Brussels berry. It is a purple Brussels sprouts that is said to have a taste of blueberries. I don't know if it's true, but they're really sweeter than a common Brussels. Rise of purple vegetable popularity happens not only because of their color, but because they're more healthy. They contain more antioxidants than regular vegetables. Trend number 9 is mushrooms. More and more people try to grow them at home, more and more chefs and home cooks include mushrooms in their recipes. It's a really popular food trend in 2024. But technically, mushrooms aren't vegetables. Oh, here's a funny story for you. As you know, I live in Finland and we have lots of mushrooms in our woods. We have porcinis, chanterelles, and many, many others. So I have a friend whose husband says he doesn't eat mushrooms, although he is a vegan and eats a lot of champignons. And when someone goes, those are mushrooms as well, he says, no, those are vegetables. Ha ha ha. I don't know if it was funny, but anyway, mushrooms are a bit tricky to grow at home, and I wouldn't recommend that for beginners. And finally, we came to a trend number 10, and it's buckwheat. In 2024, according to food experts, buckwheat would be everywhere. It is gaining popularity year after year because it's an amazing regenerative crop to improve the health of the soil. But buckwheat is also really healthy and nutritious. Just like mushrooms, buckwheat isn't really a vegetable, but neither it's a grain. But as I'm talking about vegetable trends here, I can suggest growing buckwheat as a microgreens. Restaurants have been using buckwheat microgreens for a while, and for those who actually hates buckwheat taste, I know there are lots of you weirdos. How can you not like a buckwheat? For those who hate buckwheat taste, buckwheat microgreens is a really good alternative. Buckwheat microgreens actually contain all nutritions and benefits of a real buckwheat, but without that tangy characteristic taste. Want to give it a try? Probably you should watch the next video first, which is about basics of growing microgreens. That was it. If this video had a value for you, please don't forget to like, and best of luck to you in 2024 and the next gardening season.